This coverage of the 2021 International Drag Racing Hall of Fame induction ceremony is brought to you by Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping, Borla, the world's most winning exhaust, and by RockAuto.com, all the parts your car will ever need.
Photographs for this year's show provided by Richard Shute at Auto Imagery. Over 1 million drag racing images spanning 6 decades of the sport. Find them all at autoimagery.com.
This is the monument for the Hall of Fame that the inductees get their name engraved on. This is 26,000 pounds of pink granite, and it was very graciously donated to the museum and the Hall of Fame by Sandy and Larry Miner. Brett Kepner is our next inductee. His name is already engraved on here. But let me tell you a little something about Brett Kepner. He is a walking encyclopedia of drag racing, everything. He knows all the strips, where they are. In fact, he's writing a book about all the drag strips in America. And he knows so much about every drag racer, it is incredible that it's all in his mind. And there's another little thing about Brett that I really like. I used to do a lot of work with him in TV, and he would always rent the same kind of Ford, and then he would find a bracket race nearby and go win the money. Welcome Brett Kepner into the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame.
So let me go over 10 reasons why Kepner's going into the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame. First of all, as a writer, Brett wrote 2,100 stories that appeared in 57 different publications. He was editor of 9 publications for a short time. Number 2, a track researcher. Brett decided that he was going to find every drag strip that ever existed on planet Earth. If you want to know about any drag strip anywhere, get a hold of Kepner's book. A teacher. I walk in the typical banquet room, there's not a seat available, and racers are standing on the walls all the way around. To hear this guy talk about how to ET bracket race successfully with a streetcar, and the speaker was Brett Kepner, which brings me to number 4, as an ET bracket racer. He raced at a total of 171 tracks across America. He won 113 times. Number 5, track manager. Brett actually managed Dragway 42 in West Salem, Ohio for a short time, and the old St. Louis Raceway just outside of St. Louis. Event announcer. Brett announced for NHRA, AHRA, UDRA, IHRA, large independent events. Then obviously the thing he's best known for is a TV pit reporter. He was the IHRA top-end interview guy and pit reporter for 14 years on ESPN. He also was on CBS, NBC. He did tractor pulls, he did monster trucks. He was very famous for his top-end interviews because a guy would come out of the car and he'd say, "That's incredible, that's the second best ET you've ever turned at this track." And the guy would look at him, "Really? Yeah, I guess it is." Brett was also very good at imitating people, but the most famous imitation that Brett had was Ricky Smith. Brett did an interview with Ricky Smith, both voices. I can tell you it got Ricky's attention when he heard himself on the PA, Brett talking, said that his dream car was a Pro Stock Rambler Marlin, and his new sponsor was Trojan Condoms. Ricky came out from under the car and immediately came up. The problem was he was so good, a lot of people thought it was actually Ricky. Number 8, a photographer. He has shot 200,000 photos. 10 of them have made it to the front cover of Miscellaneous and Sundry magazines. Obviously, number 9, Hall of Fame. Brett is in the East Coast Drag Racing Hall of Fame. He's also in the Gateway Hall of Fame. And let me clarify something now. Brett Kepner, ladies and gentlemen, came up with the name Pro Modified. Finally, number 10, as a spectator. Before he retired, he averaged 140 drag races a year. His highest year was in 1998 when he attended 167 drag races. So if you ask me to describe Brett Kepner, he is drag racing's biggest fan.
What all this boils down to is the fact that obviously for the vast majority of my life, I've spent every waking moment in drag racing. There have been a tremendous amount of people that have made this life so special. I got to spend time with and learn from the greatest promoters this sport has ever known, and who really knew what it was to present a happening as opposed to just a drag race. Most importantly, the one person in my life who I didn't meet at a drag race, Marianne Schultz, who has literally saved my life in bad health situations, who is my closest friend, my confidant, my everything. Ladies and gentlemen, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for what I consider to be the greatest honor that our sport can bestow. Thank you all.
We hope you enjoyed this year's induction ceremony for the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame. Thanks for tuning in. Until we do it again next year, so long from Florida.